So before we actually get started into this, I do have a question I ask every person who comes on the show. I try to tell people about it ahead of time, but I've been forgetting a lot lately, so this is my fault, and I
That's
apologize.
okay. It's all good.
Um, if you could take a movie and Muppetize it, but keep only one person human, what movie would it be? And I'll give you a minute to think about it, and I'll explain mine. Actually, let me explain because by the time this episode comes out, one will already come out. Because I keep telling people about the Princess Bride one I came up with.
Uh-huh.
Um, there are two others that one I came up with. One, Aaron Carnes from In Defense of Ska came up with because
hmm
he said Back to the Future, but he's the one who said Marty should, or he's the one who said, yeah, Marty should stay human.
hmm
But I think Biff should stay human just because him getting completely outdone by Muppets would be really funny.
Oh yeah.
And then I would love to see uh Lord of the Rings, but Muppets, and Ian McKellen stay as Gandalf.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because I think he would stay true to it. You'd play it similarly to how Michael Caine did A Muppet Christmas Carol.
So my favorite movie of all time is Jurassic Park. That was
Mm.
like for our generation, and I know we're going to talk about Star Wars. We're both huge Star Wars fans, but for our generation, I think that was the Star Wars moment, right? When that movie
Yes.
came out, that was the I can remember where I saw it. I can remember that I had been to the movies. I was a huge movie fan, but when you see Jurassic Park at
It's
our age, right? I was what, like 7, 8 when that came out. I was like,
Yep.
oh my God, this is
It was
magic.
special.
Yeah, this is special. This is how people talk about seeing Star Wars in 1977. That's what Jurassic Park was to me. So that's the one I'm immediately going to go to just because it's top of my mind. Now, who stays a human is really, really interesting. My gut says Jeff Goldblum stays a human because he's already a Muppet, right? He already is a human Muppet.
Basically, Tim Curry.
Yeah, he's
Because
basically, yeah.
because Tim Curry played Muppet Treasure Island like he was already a Muppet,
Yeah. So that's
whereas
the
like Michael Keane treated everyone like an act.
Yeah, that's the one I feel like is you keep Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum as a human, and everyone else is a Muppet. Um, you could do other characters. I don't know how familiar you are with the movie, but like the lawyer Gennaro, I think him as a human, just like reacting to like what? It's
Four
fun.
Muppets eating him, a
Yeah,
dinosaur Tyrannosaurus would be absolutely perfect. I would love that.
yeah. But I think I'm gonna go Jurassic Park, and I'm gonna keep Jeff Goldblum as a human because I mean he's the most Muppety character in that, so it would just be
Yeah.
fun to see him playing
Would
off
make
actual
sense.
Muppets. Yeah.
Welcome back to First, Last, and Best, and we are well on our way to the road to Supernova. If you haven't bought your tickets yet, tickets are still available. It is September 12th and 13th in Hampton, Virginia at Fort Monroe. You guys heard Tim talk about it. It's going to be a great festival. It's going to be an awesome show, a great weekend of some amazing music. We're well on our way. We've talked with Aaron Carnes. We just talked last week with Danny and Allie from Stop the Presses. And this week we got another pretty fun episode lined up. Except it's not necessarily talking about a band. It's not necessarily talking about ska in general. We have several topics we're hitting, and there's only one person I felt like we could talk to about this. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been trying to plan this episode for the better part of, well, it feels like forever now. At the very least, 6 to 8 months. Ladies and gentlemen, he plays in the Backyard Superheroes. He's a giant Star Wars fan, and right now he's got some time to talk to me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Gary to the podcast. Gary, welcome to the show, man.
Hello. I like being a guest on podcasts. Usually I'm hosting and have to do what you just did, and now I have no responsibility, so it's way better.
All you got to do is talk right now, and it's
I'm good at that.
you're also on every song sucks, if I remember right, the Real Big Fish podcast, correct?
Yes, we Every Song Sucks, a Real Big Fish podcast where we talk about every Real Big Fish song, analyze it. We get a lot of cool guests. We actually just past couple weeks had Aaron and Scott from Real Big
Nice.
Fish on the podcast talking about some songs. So yeah,
Nice.
really fun. And we have some
And
real cool
if I
stuff.
remember right, you're also involved with On the Upbeat, right?
Yeah, I used to host. I used to co-host on the Upbeat. Now I'm just kind of, sporadically there. But Every Song Sucks is part of that. I also host one other podcast. I've had a billion podcasts. I used to do a wrestling podcast. I used to do a Star Wars literature podcast. Where we just talk about Star Wars books. That was really fun. But my other podcast is called Monster Rally Podcast, and we talk about classic monster movies. So your Frankenstein's, your Bride of Frankenstein's, Wolfman's, Dracula's, that type of stuff.
Well, now that you've talked about it, I have to ask, you're a wrestling fan, yes?
I am a
Or
wrestling fan. I actually am a former pro wrestler too.
really?
Yeah, I was so in New Jersey here. I live in New Jersey, and there was an independent company called Primetime Wrestling, and I ended up doing from my podcast, got asked to do commentary for them for a while, so I was doing that.
Nice.
And then I was like, "Hey, can I just wrestle a match?" So they were actually doing a show in my hometown where I grew up, and I'm like, "Well, that would be perfect." And I was a heel commentator, so like I had this character where it came back. I was like, "I'm coming back to my hometown. I'm better than all you." Yada yada yada. And I worked a battle royal with MJF actually, who was a
Oh shit, really?
yeah. So I know MJF. That was pretty cool. But I only exclusively feuded with women. I was kind of doing the Andy Kaufman thing. So I
Nice.
got my ass kicked by like that company's women's champion and had a feud with her and stuff. So that was really fun. I wanted to continue it, but that was I was doing it when I was like the year before and the year I was getting married. And my wife's like, I would like you to not be broken for our wedding. So I stopped. Now, ironically, I stopped wrestling, but I still was playing in my band Backyard Superheroes, and we had played a show with Mighty Mighty Boss Tones the first time we ever played with them, which was awesome. 2 months before my wedding, and if you've ever seen my band or know anything about us, like I am very super high energy and I do some crazy stuff. So I did like a flip off of the bar, and as soon as I landed, I broke 2 bones in my foot. Now, this was 2 months before my wedding. And remember, my wife told me I had to stop wrestling because she didn't want me to get hurt. So I broke 2 bones in my foot and I was in a walking boot and on crutches until the morning of my wedding.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you would think that it's the band that really caused you to get injured right before your wedding.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So
that's
that was fun.
that's disappointing, but at the same time, honestly, kind of fun. I enjoy that. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Gary. I
Are you a
appreciate
wrestler? Are
that
you a
story.
wrestling fan as well?
I am.
Okay.
So I got out of it for a very long time, and then I was trying to find ways to connect with my nephew, and he was really big into wrestling. So I started like investigating because I knew about WWE, but I didn't know about the independents. I didn't know about New
Hmm.
Japan. Uh, and that's when I was like, all right, well, let me kind of get into it, and like maybe investigate it a little bit. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of WWE. I still have some wrestlers that I enjoy and I follow. Like I'm a big fan of Finn Balor. I think he's amazing. I loved his work with the Bullet Club and in New Japan. And then AEW has just kind of been my thing for the last several years. So yeah, I still follow it. I don't watch it as much, but I still follow everything that goes on. And like especially like Will Ospreay right now is amazing. So yeah, wrestling is one of those things that I definitely keep an eye on.
I'm a WWE mark. That's my favorite.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's whatever makes you happy.
I
So
grew up with it, and what got me into wrestling too, and this is so interesting. I think it ties into what we're talking about a little bit, is nerd shit. Because I was watching, remember WWF Superstars used to be on Fox 5, right? So Saturday mornings, what am I watching? I'm watching X-Men, I'm watching Spider-Man and stuff like that. And then at 12 o'clock, WWF comes on. This is like 90, 92, 93. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? This is cool. And that kind of got me on the path of wrestling. My like everything that I've done is kind of intertwined. It all comes back to Star Wars, obviously, but it's kind of intertwined. Like the reason I like music and I got into music and I'm in a band and everything is because I liked horror movies as a kid. I was really into horror movies, and then
yeah,
I was going through my mom's record collection, and she had a Kiss record, and I'm like, this band looks freaking awesome. And I listened to Kiss, and I was like, oh, they're amazing. They look like a scary band, and I'm really into this. And this when McFarlane was putting out the Kiss action figures and everything. So, and they were doing the reunion, so I got into Kiss, and that led me into rock and roll, punk rock, ska, everything like that. So, I don't know, just nerd stuff and movies and everything all just kind of builds this lore of me.
See, I like the fact that wrestlers these days are not so much the like not necessarily like, but like there seems to be a big tonal shift from the wrestlers from like when we were growing up, where it was like, yeah, we're big strong men doing big strong things. And honestly, at this point, it's like giant nerds,
Yeah,
especially with their gear, like nod to comic books and movies and
yeah,
stuff like that, and just enjoy like making a show of it. And it's just it's I love wrestling these days. It's insane just
yeah.
how like nerdy it is. So
My two favorite wrestlers. I mean, I've always been a big Danhausen fan. Danhausen is just killing it. He's just
he's
great.
amazing. I love Danhausen.
Danhausen, by the way, not a ska fan at all. Hates
He's
ska.
not.
No.
That doesn't shock me at all, but at the same time, it is a little disappointing to hear.
I have a really cool shirt that's called it says Skahausen on it, and it's him like dressed as a rude boy. It's like a one of a kind somebody made for me. It's really cool. And
Yeah.
then my other favorite wrestler is the ska world champion right now, Sami Zayn.
I hate that he's probably going to lose that belt soon. It makes me
Well,
so freaking sad because there's
I
rumors he's
know.
losing it tonight in Chicago, and it's so disappointing because he deserves so much. I love Sami Zayn.
Yeah, Sami Zayn.
Um,
He like his gimmick is the last real good guy. He
yeah,
is like just a real good human being, and I like that.
he really is.
Yeah.
Oh man, him and Kevin Owens, I love them both. They're
You
so
know,
good.
fun thing about Sami Zayn, I had heard him on a podcast. I don't remember which podcast it was, but he is actually not that big of a ska fan. um,
Disappointing to hear, to be honest with you.
he's a big punk rock fan, and he likes like Against All Authority type of ska and Operation Ivy, but like third wavy, like his theme song type of ska, not really his jam. You know
Yeah,
who is a big ska fan is CM Punk.
that doesn't surprise me.
I've seen CM Punk at a Bouncing Soul show, at a Less Than Jake show, and at a Rancid show.
Sounds great. That sounds perfectly course.
And he played. People don't know this. CM Punk played sax in a ska band in the late '90s.
Really?
Yeah, the band Hot Stove Jimmy, who's a great like ska punk band from the Chicago area. He played alto sax for them for a couple months.
That's awesome. These are wonderful
Everything
things
is
to know.
ska. Everything
Everything
comes
is
back to
ska.
ska. Yeah.
This is why this series works. And honestly, why am I not turning this entire freaking podcast into a ska podcast? God. I mean, it's very real possibility that someday like the road to supernova is just gonna turn from like last year it was like a month and a half. This year it's 2.5 months. Next year it's probably gonna be 6 months. And then all of a sudden it's literally just a ska
Just
podcast.
yeah. I mean, there's a market for it, right? And there used to be like a dozen ska podcasts, and now it's dwindled down to just a couple.
Yeah.
So you can be the revival, the ska
I will
podcast
be the
revival,
revival. I'm the second wave of I'm the
ska
tombstone
podcasting.
of ska punk podcast.
That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. Sure, why not? So once again, we're getting way off track here, but that's
Oh yeah,
okay.
that's how
That's
that's how
basically
I
what
roll.
that's basically how I thought this episode was going to wind up going because there's no structure to this episode like I normally do. So I really don't know how this is going to go, but we've decided we want to hit on three main things. We want to talk about ska music, your love of ska in general, Gary. I do want to get into some backyard superhero stuff, which we will. But most of all, when we were originally going to record this episode, it was going to coincide in March with the release of The Mandalorian and Grogu. So we want to talk ska, backyard superheroes, and Star Wars. And I feel like we need to start with Star Wars.
I agree.
Yes, I'm glad we're on the same page. Uh, I think you said you saw it like what, 3 or 4 times at least?
I did see it 3 times. I wanted to see it more, but life happens. When the sequel trilogy came out and like Rogue One and Solo, I didn't have kids and I wasn't married, so I saw those movies. I think I saw Force Awakens 9 times in theaters, type of thing. When you have free time when you're a single man, it's great. But I ended up seeing Mandalorian and Grogu 3 times. I'm actually drinking out of my Mandalorian and Grogu Burger King cup today.
A nice cup,
um,
to be honest with you.
yeah, they're really cool. I don't know what you wanted to talk about with it, but I just want to say I loved the movie.
It's great.
Yeah,
It really was. Uh, Jeremy Allen White really kind of threw me off as
yeah,
Jabba the Hutt's son. I was not expecting that. Um, but I thought like Jabba the Hutt seemed like kind of one dimensional. Just but at the same time, you're supposed to be a villain. You
yeah,
really don't get, especially back in those days, You don't get a whole lot of depth to the villain arc, especially like villains who are that second tier. Like
Hmm.
not your Darth Vaders, not your Palpatines, but kind of like the villain to get to the main villain.
Like your Boba Fett, right? Boba Fett really had
Exactly.
no substance to him.
Exactly. Like eventually substance was added later on, especially
Hmm.
once when you start getting into like Clone Wars and then into other properties with Star Wars, especially once you start getting into the 90s and into the 2000s, where they start adding layers
Yeah.
to villains and backstories to where people just start to sympathize with them.
Hmm.
But with Jabba the Hutt, there was really no sympathy there. He was just kind of he was a mob boss and nobody
Yeah.
liked him. So
Yeah.
to have his son just be he wasn't one dimensional. Like his aunt and uncle were felt like more like one dimensional. Ah, we are villains. We want him dead. Please save him for us. When really we have a plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it just it was not what I was expecting with a character like that, but honestly, I appreciate it so much. Like how they layered the character of like, everyone probably expects him to be a villain, but really he's just misunderstood. And I love that fact that Jeremy Allen White did the voice for that, and he even just voice acting with it really brought a lot of depth and emotion to the character.
Yeah. What I liked about Mandalorian Grogu is it's a representation of what I like about Star Wars in general. I
Mm.
like the heavy stuff sometimes, but really, I'm just there for the goofiness, the weird Muppets and the weird creatures and the really just goofy, silly storylines and everything like that. Like Star Wars, I think people want it to be more serious than it is at heart, right? Like it's just a silly fairy tale, and that's totally fun. Um, I'm a I don't know your stance on this, so this might be a controversial take, but I'm a Disney apologist. Like I like the Disney movies, I like the sequels. Last Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. Um, and it's so interesting what we've seen the backlash against Star Wars, and we even saw with Mandalorian and Grogu. It's like people hold Star Wars to an expectation that it will never ever live up to because it's you're holding it to your nostalgia and your childhood, and that's not fair for you to judge Star Wars on what you want or expect it to be because it will never be that. Does that make sense?
Us, absolutely. I so the sequel trilogy, I honestly Force Awakens I really enjoyed. I thought that was it was good. You had enough nostalgia to carry it, but at the same time building into what the rest of the trilogy is supposed to be. The last two films I was not as wild about, but at the same time still enjoyed them for what they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people were upset about this movie, and I was for a brief moment that honestly I was kind of hoping and expecting almost world building
Yeah.
with this movie, that they were going to take it not just as a standalone film, but to actually build off of it and to like what the rise of the First Order is going to be and like this, that, and the other with it. When really it was kind of a standalone, great summer film to just relax, watch a great movie, and enjoy it. Once you get out of the mindset of this is not going to world build, this is not going to like put forth a new trilogy or start a new trilogy. It is literally just a movie to sit down and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that into that mindset, this movie is fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I will watch anything Star Wars at this point, as long as I have
Same.
time. Uh
Same.
like the one thing I haven't watched, and I'm really kind of disappointed in myself is oh damn, what was it? The show they put out that was based off of Rogue One.
Andor.
Um
Andor.
Andor.
Yeah.
I started watching the first episode. I got through the first episode, but it felt so slow that I was like, you know what? I'll come back to it. And I never did. And every person I've talked to that is a Star Wars fan has yelled at me for doing that because they said it's
Oh,
so good.
it is so good. But going back to what I said, it's not the type of Star Wars I
Yeah.
gravitate towards. It's heavy, it's serious, and that's fine. And I think that's what's really cool about Star Wars is it could be anything, right? You could have an Andor where it's heavy, serious, life threatening drama, and then you have Mandalorian and Grogu, where like Martin Scorsese is playing a food truck owner, and it's like, okay, those two things can exist in this at the same time, because Star Wars doesn't have to just be one thing. Just like life, there's deep serious parts of your life, and there's super fun parts of your life. Just because Star Wars is so vast, it can have all that. And I hope that as they continue, they really balance that more. Do weird stuff, take chances. I It was so interesting, the backlash for Force Awakens and Last Jedi, right? Force Awakens, if you remember when it came out, people are like, it's too much like A New Hope. We want something new. And then Last Jedi came out, whether you like it or not. But Last Jedi is like, we did something completely different, and you didn't like that either.
You can't please Star Wars fans. You really
No,
can't.
no, they're the worst.
Someone's going to be upset about it, and it sucks. You see, what I would really love out of Star Wars, and it's very similar to what I want out of Harry Potter. I
Mm.
want just like a standalone David Attenborough TV show where you're literally going around to different planets and just like almost like a Steve Irwin, like let's explore animals in the Star
Oh
Wars
yeah.
universe, and just like, here's what this animal is. Isn't he beautiful? Let's be friends with it. And then, the guy gets into a fight with the animal or something like that. Like very Steve Irwin. I want to be a conservationist and save all the animals that don't actually exist, because this is fiction after all, that we're aware of. Maybe it's not fiction. Maybe it's all real
Yeah.
and we just don't know it yet.
Oh, yeah. I
That's
actually love that idea. That let's offline that, because we could make something with that, because that's a really fun idea.
Nobody pay attention to what I just said.
Trademark, 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 trademark.
Trademark, it's fine. It's fine. You can't have it. Damn it.
I
I got a
feel
couple
like
weeks before this episode comes out. It's fine.
there you go. You can edit. I feel like what you said about Star Wars fans being, kind of toxic. That's it. They get a bad rap because I feel like that's such a minority. I think the majority of people are like, I just go see a Star Wars movie. I like it. I don't like it. Whatever. I don't care. I move on with my life. I think there's a lot of fandoms, especially that I'm a part of. So here's a little bit about me. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a ska fan. I'm a Star Wars fan, and I'm a diehard New York Yankee fan. So, oh, are you as well?
I've got my Aaron Judge and my Lou Gehrig Funko Pops up there.
Oh, let's see. Aaron Judge is on my desk right now. My Aaron Judge Funko Pop. There he is.
I have that exact same one.
Yeah.
It is
So
currently right over there.
since we're in a lot of those same fandoms, that's good to know. Those are all very toxic fandoms who are just never happy with anything. And it's like everything is wrong. Everything used to be better. We're not accepting change. We're not accepting your progress or anything like that. Now, look, do I get so frustrated at things that the Yankees do? Obviously. Obviously, I do. But it's still like, I have a friend who's a Mets fan, and he's like, you can never complain about anything in baseball. You just can't. You just can't. And I feel like that's how like Star Wars fans are almost like, it's like you have the biggest franchise in the world, and there's so much content. What do you like? Shut up.
Find something you like. Go find something you like.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. There's
Yeah.
something you don't like. Don't watch it. It's that simple.
Yeah, the Yankees currently are in a not doing well. They're in a 9-game, I think, losing streak, or 9 out of 10 or something like
They
that.
won one game against Minnesota, and then
Yeah,
they dropped the next two. And I'm
yeah,
just like, all right, well,
and it's frustrating, right? And we can get frustrated about that. But I have my one friend who's like that guy, and this guy who's like, fire everyone, get rid of everyone, trade everyone. I'm like, dude, they are still like the best team in the American League. They're still going to make the playoffs. It's fine. Everything is fine.
do you know how many people had food poisoning in the last week for the
Yeah,
Yankees? Literally everyone. Let's
it's
all calm
fine. Yeah,
down. It's July.
yeah.
Let's wait for Aaron Judge to come back. Let's wait for Stanton to come back. Let's let everyone get a little healthier. Everything's gonna be okay. Let's chill the fuck out.
Yeah. Now, like, this is me in the regular season. When you and I talk again in October for our playoff preview that we're gonna do, I have a different story.
100%.
Fuck you. Trade Judge struck out. Fucking trade his ass. Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't deliver in the playoffs.
Get rid of everybody. Yeah, October Gary's a different person, and that's understandable.
All right, I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. My
I
wife
was
heard.
that I was that way for the Knicks. Like
Okay.
my dad was a big basketball fan, so he passed that on to me and my brother. So we are Knicks fans. And so the last game I watched live before the finals was game 3 of the Hawks series that they lost.
Hmm.
So I didn't watch the rest of the series, but they ended up winning. So I was like, okay,
Hmm.
cool. And then they started winning against Detroit, and I'm just like, I'm not going to watch anything. I'm not going to watch another minute of live
Yeah, yeah,
basketball
yeah.
until they lose again. So I didn't watch again until game 5 of the NBA finals
Oh
because
wow.
because at that point I was like, listen, if I
You don't want
they
to be
had
the
already
jinx.
lost they lost one game against San Antonio, so I didn't feel like I was going to be a jinx. But at the same time, I was saying to myself, you know what? If I don't watch the Knicks win the NBA finals, I am going to regret it for the rest of my life.
Of course, of course. Yeah, you
So,
have
like,
to.
my wife is asleep next to me in bed, and I'm just like trying not to yell at the TV as they're making yet another 20-point comeback. So, yeah. So,
But tying everything back together, of course, I go to the whatever they do for the Star Wars Day at Yankee Stadium every year. So I always get the
oh, do you?
bobblehead and
Nice.
do all that stuff. Yeah. So like I think this year was a Max Freed Mandalorian, right? So that was really cool. And I have the Judge as a Jedi, and I'm like, these are like really really cool. You're just mixing all the things. Also, I'm a huge toy collector, so you're just mixing all the things I love together.
Right. You can keep all that too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's fantastic. Yeah, right, Hattie. He's fantastic. Yeah, cool. What did you
Oh,
think of Ahsoka, the series?
you mean the person who's on my desk right now, Ahsoka? That's my favorite. Ahsoka's my favorite Star Wars character. I love Clone Wars. I have an Ahsoka tattoo on my arm. It's punk rock Ahsoka, so she's skanking and she's got like a punk rock like battle vest on. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
Because I like to think like in her when she was a Padawan, Ahsoka probably snuck out to go to some clubs to see some punk bands. Why not? She probably was into that.
She probably was.
Yeah.
I 100% buy into that.
I like Ahsoka because I like the story that they're telling with the. This is my favorite part of Star Wars: the world between worlds stuff, the weird, really, really weird sci-fi stuff they're doing. I'm also a Star Wars completionist. So when I say completionist, I've read every canon comic, every canon book. So like all this stuff is like tying together, and like I feel like you get rewarded with Star Wars if the more you know about it. And it's more like people talk about Rise of Skywalker, right? And they're like, Palpatine came back. They were talking about that for years before that. It was in books, it was in comics. They were hinting at it for so long. So when it happened, I'm like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. And
This
that's
is
I get that's not accessible for general audiences. I understand that. But anyway, going back to Ahsoka, I love Ahsoka. I think that show was great. The new season comes out next year. I cannot wait.
are they replacing Ray Stevenson with someone, or did they announce that already? Or
The Hound from Game of Thrones is going to play him.
oh, really?
Yeah, I forget the actor's name. I'm
Okay,
sorry, but yeah, if you know who I'm talking about, yeah,
I'm pretty sure I do. You didn't watch Game
yeah,
of Thrones. That's one of those fandoms that I never really got into.
yeah.
So,
But if you
but
see
yeah,
him, you'd be like, oh, I recognize that guy.
yeah, probably will.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, dude, I thought Ahsoka was great. I love the TV stuff that they're doing. I
Hmm.
really do need to watch Andor. Um, and I'm kind of I just want to see what they do from here on out. No matter what, I mean, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna have fun with it. I wrapping back to Grogu, Mandalorian and Grogu. It was a great standalone film. It was wonderful. It was great to watch. I got to see it while I was down in the Outer Banks with my wife, so it was just I was relaxed anyway, so that just helped.
Yeah.
So, uh, so moving from Star Wars into ska, when
Do
did
we
you
have?
start
Do we
getting in?
have to? Do we
No,
have
we don't.
to?
You know what? How about we skip over your love of ska music? We do a little bit of talk about backyard superheroes.
Well, I feel
All
like I should do ska because it'll lead into that, right?
right, fine. If you
If I
want.
have to.
If you want.
Um, if
So
you're
what?
asking, like,
Because you play, I believe, is it tenor?
I play tenor sax. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. When did you start playing saxophone?
So actually pretty late in life. I was a clarinet player as a kid. I still play clarinet. And then, when I started
Are
getting,
we the same person?
do you play clarinet too?
I used to.
Yeah.
So middle school, so this is a fun story about me. I wanted to do band in middle school. Or I signed up to do art in 6th grade, and I realized I am not a good artist. So I talked with my mom, and she was like, "Well, why don't you join band? Why don't you give music a try?" So I was like, "All right." So we got to pick our instrument. I really didn't think I would be a very good trombonist or trumpet. My mouth is too big for trumpet. So the band teacher was like, "Well, why don't you play saxophone?" I was like, great, that sounds like fun. I would love to do that. That seems like a really cool instrument to play. Other guys are playing it. It's a thing. Also, my parents were big into Bruce Springsteen, and there was a saxophone
Hell
player in the
yeah.
street band, and I was like,
By the
hell yeah,
way, just real quick, Bruce Springsteen is my neighbor. I just want to put that out there.
fuck you. Okay.
He's my neighbor.
I
My daughter had
I
ice cream with him the other day.
fuck you. I love Bruce Springsteen. I grew up on the boss.
He's
Like
my neighbor.
my family's from New York. We're from Long Island. I live in Virginia now, but I grew up on like Springsteen and Billy Joel. So if you tell me Billy Joel's your other neighbor, I'm gonna
No,
drive to
no,
your.
no, no. I live in Freehold, New Jersey, which is where Bruce Springsteen is from. So
So,
he's
but so I was like, yeah, saxophone, that's great. And then when my mom went to the place that you buy the instruments from, they have like this thing. Um, the saxophone was too expensive.
mhm.
So she was like, "Oh, clarinet's fine." So I played clarinet all throughout middle school and some into high school. Uh, but eventually I kind of gave it up. So I stopped playing, and that's when I picked up bass.
Okay.
So so I do not play clarinet anymore, but I used to.
Yeah, so I was just playing clarinet. Like I said, I wasn't really into music much when I was young, but then when I started getting into it in the late '90s, I was like, I want to play guitar. That's badass. I was listening
Yeah.
to like alternative music, like Nirvana. I got really into Nirvana, and then new metal, which was coming out at the time. So I was a huge Limp
Yeah.
Bizkit fan, Korn, that type of stuff. So I was playing like guitar. And then I started hanging out with like, some of the alternative punk rock kids, and they're like, you should come to this show with us tonight. This is the year 2000. And I went to go see, I saw my first ska band I ever saw, and they're called the Spit Valves, and they're a great band out of Florida. They are not together anymore, but they did just play a reunion show a couple months ago. Awesome
Nice.
band. And I was like, oh my God, this is the energy that I have. It's like theater kid energy, which I was a theater kid. It's band kid energy. It's just fun. It's accepting. It's great. I'm like, this is what I've been looking for, right? So I got all in on ska. Um, and I was a really good guitar player, but my school had like a couple really good guitar players. And I was probably like the second or third best guitar player. So I'm like, okay, I want to start a ska band, and I'm going to just, the good guitar player is going to play guitar. I want to try a different instrument. So I already knew clarinet. So I was like, let me transition over to saxophone. And that's how I started playing saxophone. I taught myself, went on to play in college. I was a jazz major in college. And now I could play about 10 instruments. I just kind of self teach. Right now, I'm learning harmonica. I'm teaching myself
Nice.
harmonica, which is really fun and really hard. It's a really hard instrument to
Yeah, it is.
play. But yeah, that's how I got into ska. And then, like, from there, it was just like I was off to the races. I was going to ska shows every week. I was consuming everything Sky possibly could, because that third wave specifically, that energy just aligned so much to my energy. I was so, like, again, you think of third wave Sky, you think of like big flashy colors sometimes, that real big fish, like that mozzarella stick meme and everything, like, and I'm all in on that. That's me, right? Like, I'm a theater kid. I'm high energy. Most of my diet is sugar. So like ska really spoke to me that way. And it was goofy, but it had a sense of community to it. And I think as like
Absolutely.
a lot of us like quirky, I don't want to say alternative kids, but kids who are just like into the, different stuff, movies and music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You look for a sense of community, because you're not necessarily in the, I don't want to say popular kids or anything like that, like, because that sounds so cheesy, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you want that community where you feel like, I feel safe here. I feel seen. I feel like these are my people. And the ska community felt like that for me at that time.
And honestly, the ska community in general, and especially going to like local ska shows, and then you go to something like Supernova or these like big festival events, everything is just so relaxed and so welcoming that you can't help but really, even if you're not huge into the music, you can't help but be feel like not really a sense of approval, but like just like a sense of belonging with everyone, because everyone just wants to have a fun time and not have the drama of bullshit that sometimes comes along with those like bigger shows where someone shows up just to, start shit. Like, because I remember a lot of local shows when I was a kid, and then when I was younger, like someone just showing up because they just want to start trouble, and
Oh yeah.
you really don't get that too much at ska shows. So it just,
Nobody in a banana suit is going to get beaten up at a ska show. I'll tell you that.
yeah, usually, you're going to get a bunch of people in a banana suit, and then you
Yeah.
got your own cluster of bananas right there.
Yeah.
So then it's nice.
What was also cool was, and in the early 2000s, I used to go to a lot of mixed bill shows, and I'm trying to, as a musician now and as someone who puts on shows, I'm trying to put some of those back together. But you would go see Friday night, right? You'd see a ska band, a hardcore band, a punk band, and it'd be like, oh, this is awesome. And there was a little bit for everybody, and then it kind of grew out of that a little bit in local scenes, and I feel like it became a little bit more ska bands had to play with ska bands, punk bands had to play with punk bands, and there's a little bit of crossover, but just more of that. Like music could just be music, and like it could just be a good time. You don't have to have such a label on it. And also, just from a drawing perspective, right? Like if you could get more people who are different and interested in more type of music at one show, that's just going to benefit everybody.
Absolutely. And that's one thing, like I remember I was stationed in Connecticut in my early 20s, and I was in a band in not New London, New Haven. And we played a show. I forgot it was at in Hamden at the
Mm-hmm.
Space,
Oh, I've been there.
which
Yeah.
I miss that place. That place was
Yeah.
so much fun to play. And it was the last time I played a show where it was very much a mixed kind of a mixed band, because we were like alternative rock, pop punky kind of thing. Then we had
Mm-hmm.
like a hardcore band, and then there was like an acoustic guy, and then we there was this ska band that closed it out. They were called Africa the Band, I think.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like the first ska band I had seen in a really long time, and it was just fun. It was just a great time. And I remember that show like very vividly and very fondly, just because when I moved back down here, it seemed like everybody kind of like, all right, you go to this corner, then you're this band, okay, you guys go over to that corner and you play your own shows, and it's just like the same people at every single show, and
Yeah.
like you don't branch out, and you don't like play to different people, and even if they hate it, at least you're trying.
Yeah.
So
And even within ska, like you can still have those mixed bill shows, like Supernova. You mentioned we played Supernova. My band Backyard Superheroes played a couple times, and I still see the lineups every year. And it's like there's something for everybody.
it
And
really
that's what's cool about ska is like there's so many different subcategories of it, and usually there's crossover. Like I like all types of ska, so like usually there's crossover. But if you're just a traditionalist, or you just like ska core, or you just like ska punk, there's that's there for you. But there's like I don't think I've played a ska show in a long time when it was just like all ska punk bands. Usually it's mixed bills, right? You mentioned earlier you had Stop the Presses on last week. We've played a bunch of shows with them. They're radically different than my band, but we work
absolutely.
together. Yeah, we work together, you know?
And they're great. I love Allie and Danny. They're
Oh, they're so
fantastic.
sweet. They're so sweet. Yeah.
So, but that's one of the things I really loved last year when I went, because I that's when I met Allie and Danny. Like I had tagged them a couple times because we were talking about bands you should know, and I was
Mhm.
talking about Stop the Presses pretty glowingly because at that point, like I just started listening to them, and I went to the first thing I did. I remember right before uh I was trying to get more follows, and I was like, listen, if I reach this number, by the time Supernova shows up, I'll go to Stop the Presses, I'll grab their vinyl and do a live listen and review.
Nice.
And they tagged me a couple times, they helped me out. So they were very sweet about it. And then when I went, the first thing I did as soon as I walked into Supernova was go to their merch table, and like they were all there, they're getting ready for their set, and I asked for a copy of Got It.
Hmm.
And bought it and everything. I just want to say it's just like, hey, thank you guys so much for helping me out online. And before I could really talk anything further, Danny just kind of looks up. He's like, "Are you the podcast guy?" I'm like,
Oh, fun.
"Yeah." It's like, "Oh yeah, you're the podcast guy." So it was like I was talking with them for a couple minutes, and then just like ever since, like it's just been. But they're doing an episode for Road to Supernova this year. I'm really excited about that because
That's awesome.
they've I had Danny on one other time where we talked about The Father of Make Believe by Coheed and Cambria because he's
Hmm.
a big Coheed fan. He's also a big Weezer fan,
Oh,
which
I'm a huge Weezer fan. Weezer's probably my favorite non-ska band.
my favorite non-ska band is Dropkick Murphys. They
Okay.
were the
Yeah.
first band that I got into that I truly 100% fell in love with. Basically became my whole personality in high school.
Yeah.
So, because I come from an Irish family, we're Irish Catholic from New York, so it felt like, besides the fact that they're from Boston, it felt like very much like Kismet. Is basically going to be my personality and make me survive high school as a Dropkick Murphys.
It's funny you say that because can I tell you, like, I love Dropkick Murphys and I've seen them a few times, but I can never fully go all in on them because of the Red Sox connection.
I mean, I 100% understand that. And like, even listening to Tessie just makes me feel a little dirty at times.
Mhm.
Uh, but I still go all in on the Murphys just because they are that one band that in high school was like, it became my whole personality was
Yeah.
listening to Dropkick Murphys. I was a Dropkick Murphys guy, which I'll wear with honor. I really do love them.
Yeah, that's all. They're a great band, and
So
they're one of the. I was just talking about this yesterday on Every Song Sucks. We recorded with Catch 22. They were on, and we were talking about this. Like, bands are not doing political things right now. You think back 20 years ago, there was Rock Against Bush, and there was American Idiot, and there was all that type of stuff. There's not a lot of political stuff, especially with mainstream bands. I feel like a lot of mainstream bands are playing it very safe. But in the punk scene, it's there, but there's nothing breaking through like a way like an American Idiot did, where it was a pop hit, but it also had political leanings. Now that's not like my band. We don't do political things. We do political things outside of our music. Like we'll do fundraisers and charity stuff, but our music generally doesn't touch on
yeah,
politics. But what I'm saying is like Dropkick Murphys are one of those big bands that are still like very outspoken. And Bruce Springsteen, we talked about before too. Like there are bands that are speaking up, but I don't know about you. I haven't seen a lot of bands doing that.
not really. It feels very, I won't say underground, but it feels very much like the grassroots kind of bands are more taking that like political leaning.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact that it's harder for them to get a real kind of foothold anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas like back in like the early 2000s, you had like established No Effects, Green Day,
I think of Foo
et cetera, et
Fighters,
cetera.
right? Foo Fighters were doing
Fighters.
John Kerry song and everything like that,
Yeah,
and they're not. No one's doing that anymore.
no, not really. I think Dropkick Murphys are probably the big, well, besides Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Because I address him as Bruce, of course. Um,
He's Uncle Bruce to us because again, he's my
he
neighbor.
oh, okay, Uncle
Yeah,
Bruce. My fault,
Uncle
Gary.
Bruce. Yeah.
Fuck you, man. Anyways, but Dropkick Murphys seem to be like one of the biggest names, especially in punk rock right now. But at the same time, they've always been that way. And
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
it's the people who are like, no, my Dropkick Murphys aren't political. And I'm just like, have you not listened to literally everything they've done? So they're pro union, they are left leaning, they always have been. Yes, they support the troops and they support police officers too, but they also think if you're going to be a prick about it, we're going to call it out
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's one of the great things about the Dropkick Murphys is just they're a great band. I love them. Like to the
From a
moon.
ska perspective, similar band, right? From Boston, it was the Bosstones, right? And they were the ones doing that, and that's why I mean Bosstones are probably, other than Really Fish, my favorite band. And when the what happened with Dickie and his views on vaccination and everything was just so crushing. It was so crushing because it's like, oh, but you guys are like the torchbearers of this scene, and this is brutal. And I don't want to talk too much more about it because I don't want to get too deep in the weeds about it. But that crushed my soul.
Most people who know me, especially having a child on the spectrum, know my
Mhm.
feelings on this. So
Yeah,
I will not go too hard into it. All I will say is I was kind of disappointed in Dickie, but that's, you know what? Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I
absolutely.
can appreciate that. It doesn't mean I have to agree with you on it.
And I
So
will
that
say,
is where
Backyard
we're.
Superheroes, we've played with the Bosstones a few times, and
Yeah.
there couldn't be a sweeter person on the planet than Dickie Barrett. He was always nice to us. One time we played with him, he wore our T-shirt on stage the whole set, and I'm like, that is like such a badge of honor or whatever. So like again, that's why that was so confusing. And I know people who stopped listening to the Bosstones, and I don't think I will. Like I'll always listen to them, and I'll always
Yeah.
be there. It's weird. It's like you mentioned Harry Potter before. I don't know if we were recording yet, but like I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and that's another one where it's like this is
Yeah.
so this is so
It's
conflicting and
hard,
so like difficult. Yeah.
especially because it was like such a big part of my growing up is like reading the books and everything. It was such a big part of me, like having the person who created it have views that really kind of deviate from my own. It makes it hard, but at the same time, I do try to differentiate between a person's art versus their own. personal political beliefs. And
Do you are you familiar with quad ball?
no, I can't say that I am.
Okay, so quad ball is what they call real life Quidditch. Are you familiar with real life
Okay.
Quidditch? Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually work. One of my side hustles is I'm an executive for the International Quidditch Association or Quad Ball Association. So like the governing body of the world of quad ball, and it's like a nonprofit type of job, but it's really interesting because it's the biggest LGBTQ plus sport in the world. So it has the most LGBTQ plus players of any sport in the world, and there's like 50,000 active quad ball players in the world and knowing that, but also knowing the roots of the sport, which is trying to grow a little bit away from the Harry Potterness, but it's still always there.
Yeah.
It shows an interesting side of that community where it's like, hey, we still love this thing and we embrace it, but we don't embrace the creator. We don't embrace this type of thing.
We
And
don't like you very much. We appreciate what you created. Thank you.
correct, yeah,
At the
yeah.
same
So
time, please go away. We don't want to talk to you right now.
correct. We don't
So
want, and we can build a community of support and unity and love in this community, which has unfortunately roots in not that.
100%. Great puppy dog. Yeah.
Sorry, we are just all over the map. That's just how we
Are.
roll. Yeah,
Like, but at the same time, that's what I love about this episode because literally at one point when we were first, because I think the first time we were talking about doing this was back in November because I wanted to talk about backyard superheroes and your Christmas kind of
yeah,
leanings towards some of that. And then my grandfather died and it just kind of threw everything off. Then it was going to be in March, March. I don't remember why, but then that didn't work. Then it was going to be in May, and then that
yeah,
didn't work. And now
yeah.
it's just at this point, I was like, I threw everything out and I was like, let's see what the hell happens. And honestly, this is all gold. I love it. So
All right,
this is literally the most fun I've had recording in a very, very long time. Like I
sweet.
had fun recording with Tim. Tim is great. I had fun recording with Aaron. Aaron is great. Gary, I had no structure in this and I had no idea what to expect. And this is all fucking solid gold. And I love it because you're basically me, but you live in New Jersey.
Yeah,
Former theater kid, played
yeah.
clarinet, giant Yankees fan. We're basically the same person, except
Except I
you
live
have
next
no
to Bruce
superpower.
Springsteen.
Gary, why are
Uncle
you doing this
Bruce.
to me?
Uncle
Like,
Bruce. I will say I've never actually seen Bruce Springsteen live. That's a bucket list thing for me. Have you seen him?
no, I want to. I've seen Billy Joel live.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
Billy Joel at like one of his MSG shows, and he was great.
no, I
You
saw when
didn't
he
go to
came
one of
down to
those?
Virginia Beach. No,
Oh, okay.
my mom saw him and Elton when they were doing the Piano Man tour. Um, but yeah, I've never seen Bruce live. That is a bucket list thing for me. I want to see James Taylor live eventually. I think that would be incredible because he's James freaking Taylor.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I have any like really big bucket list bands that I really want to see.
I'm knocking off most two. I have four, and I'm knocking off two of them this year. So it's Bruce,
Yeah,
it's Paul McCartney. Those are the two that I really want to see.
yeah, okay,
And then I'm seeing Weezer for the first time.
nice.
Yeah, and then I'm seeing actually this upcoming weekend, I'm seeing Weird Al for the first time.
Oh shit, that's gonna be
Yeah. So
fun.
yeah, so this is my four. Like I have to see these bands that I've seen everyone else I really want to see. So those are the ones I want to knock off.
I think the only thing I really that's on my like I want to see James Taylor, I want to see Bruce Springsteen. But my biggest bucket list item as far as concerts are concerned is I want to see the Murphys in Boston on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah. I feel
because
like that'd
I've
be
heard
cool.
so many great things about that show that they do in Boston that despite the fact that if as long as I don't bring up I'm a Yankees fan, I think I'll survive just fine. Um, but it's one of those things I've always wanted to do and I've just never done. So
Look at this. I'm this. You can tell I'm a podcast host because I'm going to transition us to another subject. Watch this. I got kicked out of Fenway Park. I was on tour with Backyard Superheroes. We'll get to that. And we played up in Boston, and it was happened to be like a Sunday. ESPN game is 2013 Yankees Red Sox, and I'm like, well, we got to go. We got to go. And this was, if you know your Yankees, this was when A Rod just came back, or the year he was back after suspension, or something like that. He got hit by 2 pitches in that game,
Yeah.
and
I remember
he
that
also,
game.
yeah, and he hit a home run, and he was freaking out. But I I was going a little nuts. I was
No
going a little,
way.
yeah, I was going a little crazy. And then like when they, everyone was chanting about steroids and everything, and I have some strong opinions about that, especially because David Ortiz happened to play for the Red Sox, but that's a different story for a different time. Um, so I wouldn't say I got kicked out. I was asked to leave for my own safety because a lady threw a bottle at me.
A good call on your part. Just gonna go ahead and throw that out there.
But that was my only time at Fenway. Another big thing that I do. I'm like a Renaissance man. Another thing on my bucket list is I'm trying to get to all 30 MLB stadiums. I'm at 15 right now, so I want to get to the next couple.
My brother and his son have the same goal.
Yeah.
They have been to 15.
Oh wow,
Uh,
same,
he
same.
he took him his son just got accepted to Ole Miss.
Nice.
So he starts in the fall and took him down for orientation. And on the way back, they went to they crossed off St. Louis, although they've been to St. Louis before.
Mhm.
They crossed off Cincinnati, and then they drove to New York to go to the parade for the Knicks
Yeah.
because it was that same week. So they've been to 15. A lot of what they haven't done is on the West Coast.
West Coast
So
is hard. Yeah, that's a tough one. I went to Oakland. Oakland's horrible. Um, I'm actually going to be down by you in a couple weeks. My dad and I are going to go down to DC for a couple days, and I've never been to a Nationals game, so I'm looking forward to that.
honestly, it's okay. It's not bad. It's been a few years since I've been. I am a huge fan of Camden Yards.
Oh, Camden Yards is.
It's beautiful.
If
It
I'm
is
going to say
such a nice
again,
park.
I've been to 15. It's probably number one for me.
One of the ones I've been to, because I haven't been to New Yankee Stadium yet. I haven't been back to New York. I've only been back to New York like twice in the last 10 years.
Okay,
And each time it was for funerals and it was like November, December.
sure.
So, um, but Camden Yards is my go-to park right now. And that place is absolutely beautiful. I've rarely had any bad interactions with Orioles fans.
Hmm.
Everyone's is very welcoming, especially if you like the opposing team, and even if it's Yankees, like everyone has been very, very cordial. So it's really not like you may get a little bit of jawing here and there, but really it's not bad. So it's just like it's usual like sports, like your team sucks. No, your team sucks. Let me
Yeah,
get you a beer. So
yeah, yeah. I like Camden. Camden's probably number one for me right now. New Yankee Stadium, very low on my list. I am not. It's very sterile.
that's what I've heard. Like
Yeah.
I miss old Yankee Stadium. That was a beautiful ballpark. I love that place.
I did go to opening day at the new Yankee Stadium, which was cool, and I went to the World Series when the game that they won against the Phillies in 2009. So that was a great year.
Nice.
If I could say this is what I tell people about the New York stadiums. I don't know if you've been to Citi Field. Citi Field is beautiful.
Really is.
Okay, so you've been
I
there.
love it. I went a couple of years ago. I
Citi
went.
Field is beautiful. So I always tell everybody, I'm like, you take your family to Citi Field, you take your mistress to Yankee Stadium.
It's on the right.
Yeah.
City Field is beautiful. It really is a very nice ballpark. Um, I've only been there one time. I went to Old Shea Stadium. Shea Stadium was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like we took the train in because we were staying out on Long Island where my family lived, where my extended family lives, and I remember we tried getting back because it was like this clouds opened up and just dropped rain on us.
Eesh.
So then we had to ride the train back to Long Island and just like trying to figure everything out. It was a little bit of a mess. But like the walk from the train station to City Field, that's an experience, man. It really is. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
an experience it's very rare to get something like that. Like have like you get off the train, you come down from the train station, and then it just kind of like opens up and there's the stadium.
It's
So
cool. Yeah.
it really is. It's really cool. It would remind me very much of like the walk to a Premier League stadium, like
Mhm.
in like the UK or something like that. Something like that would it basically I could probably liken it to.
So, like I
So
was saying, I was at Fenway with my band, Backyard
backyard superheroes.
Superheroes. Ah, ever heard of us? We're very famous.
So let's
uh,
talk about backyard superheroes.
yeah.
You guys have been around for quite a while. Is the first EP came out in 2012? Is that right?
Yeah. So, next year, 2027, is our 15-year anniversary, and we have some really fun stuff planned for that. But yeah, we've been around. I've been in ska band since the first ska band was 2001. So I've been in ska bands all the time, but Backyard Superhero has been the one that's the longest running and most successful. So joined in 2012.
Yeah.
There's just a pop punk band that was looking for some horns, and I was happened to be in the market. I was like, I hadn't played in a band for a year or two. I was like, I want to get back into it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll check this out. And the original concept was like, we're going to be like the Aquabats. We're going to wear costumes. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't really want to do that, but okay. So very famously, we talked about Comic-Con before. I was really into cosplay. I had my own 1960s Robin costume
Oh,
with the
nice.
shorts and the tights and everything. So I wore that for our first show. And then everyone abandoned the concept right after that. But I stuck with it. I stuck with my short shorts. So I've worn short shorts at every single show that we've ever played, which is, over like, maybe close to like 400 or 500 shows at this point. But we're really fun. Like we're just, a third wave ska band. We mix in some rock and roll and some pop punk and just some, we started to mix in a little bit of hardcore and stuff as we get new members. But
Yeah.
I've been around for almost 15 years, and it's really, really fun. It's been such a great opportunity for you. I met my wife through the band at a hot dog eating contest. We were playing a hot dog eating contest, and she went to high school with some of the members of the band, so she came. And I met her there, and she saw me cheat at a hot dog eating contest, and she's like, "I guess that's the guy for me. That's who I'm gonna marry." So
No, that's the game. Yes. You know what I need in life? Someone who cheats at a hot dog eating contest. There you go.
we're recording.
That's
We're
husband
recording.
material right there.
We're recording this right after 4th of July, and I love the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. I get so into it every year. It's gross and it's crazy. But I was only in that one hot dog eating contest, and I don't know how people eat more than a couple hot dogs, because in like 5 minutes I ate 3, and I was like, this is the worst experience of my life.
Like, I really don't want to do this anymore.
I
Sorry,
don't
guys.
think honestly, like since then, I've probably had less than 5 hot dogs in the past 15 years because it just turned me off from the concept of them.
I don't blame you, which is why I won't do it, because I do like eating hot dogs. They're good, especially if you grill them. But like
Yeah.
they're just the way they eat it. I'm just like, I like eating food for the sake of eating food. It's
Yeah.
fun and it's good. And I like hot dogs. So why the fuck are you gonna ruin hot dogs for yourself? Because I don't understand how they like Joey Chestnut. I don't understand how he would want another hot dog ever again after like devouring 60 plus.
I I don't think he eats them like casually. Like that's not he's like he can't just
No.
have a hot dog. Like he's like, I want dinner, I'm gonna have a hot dog. No, there's no chance.
No. He's just like once a year, he goes to that contest, eats all the hot dogs he can, and then, uh, I would say vomit for like 12 straight hours, but that's just me.
I don't want to be like when he gets a physical, that must look crazy.
Like his salt intake is just like
Yeah.
insane. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I
But what go
what?
ahead.
No,
No, I was
you
gonna
go.
say what's cool about Backyard Superheroes is I'm able to incorporate a lot of the nerdy stuff that I'm into
Yeah.
very subtly. So like our album titles are always a reference to something, right? So you mentioned our first EP was called Falling with
Following
Style.
the style.
It's from Toy Story, right?
Yeah.
And then we had Let's Get Dangerous, so Darkwing Duck, and then we had Never Give Up, Never Surrender, Galaxy Quest, and then our most recent album was Mass Hysteria, Ghostbusters. So like you have these titles that like I've always thought they're fun. They make good album titles. They sound cool. But if you know what they're referencing to, it's another level of neat.
It's fun to actually see that because I had questions about that, to be quite honest with you,
Yeah.
because Never Give Up, Never Surrender, Galaxy
Yeah.
Quest. Let's Get Dangerous, Darkwing Duck, and Mass Hysteria. I was like, I'm a huge fan of Ghostbusters. Outside of like Star Wars and Harry Potter, that's like third place, like,
Oh,
and probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
me and you, we're on the same wavelength. We really are.
Exactly. So when I saw Mass Hysteria, I was thinking to myself, could be, maybe.
Mhm.
I don't want to jump the gun on that one, but I'm glad to be validated right now
It's
that
Ghostbusters,
it
yeah.
is in fact a Ghostbusters reference,
And
and my
our
dog
we're
is very
working on it.
excited about it as well.
Oh, hello. We're working on our next set of new music, and I already have the title and the artwork and everything, and it's a video game reference. So when it comes out, you'll be like, aha, I see that.
Aha, I knew this.
Yeah.
So, but like obviously, like I loved a lot of your albums. I'm sorry to say I've never seen you guys live, which really is very disappointing. Maybe one of these days, if you ever get below the Mason Dixon line. Um, but one of the great things I love about you guys is that because I will start listening to Christmas music as soon as Halloween's over. It is. I have like a ridiculous number of Christmas playlists, and I am proud to say that I do have an exclusive ska playlist.
Yeah.
So, why did you guys start recording so many Christmas songs to begin with? Because you
Yeah,
guys have quite a lot. I
we
mean, for
do.
a band.
And
So,
that's all driven by me. I'm a huge Christmas fan, as you are, it seems. One of the things that's important to me and to the band, I don't want to take full credit for this, is charity stuff. Like I said, we're not an overly political band musically, but I want to make sure that we make an impact. You know, when you're in a ska band, especially a ska band, where from the beginning we're like, hey, this is going to be like just a part-time side gig type of thing. You mentioned we've never been below Mason, or we don't go below the Mason disc line anymore. We've done tours. We went on two very long tours, and I said this is just not for me. So I did not like it. And we do travel. We have some things in the works for next year, traveling wise, but I said, what we can do is I want to make sure we're heavily involved in charity. I want to make sure that we are able to give back, and we're taking this band who we know we're not going to make any money off of, and we never have made. I've never had a dollar go into my pocket from the band. It either goes back to the band or it goes to something else. So I said, let's do something for charity. So I think it was about 2015, because it was right around Force Awakens time. So I remember this. I said, let's do a holiday compilation, and let's make all the money go to charity. I think I told you before, I don't know if we recorded or not, I used to work at a very, very famous toy store, and we were partners with Toys for Tots. And that's a
yeah.
charity that I've always really believed in, because there's a military association that some people don't like. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, we're giving toys to kids. I'm a toy guy. Like, I grew up as a toy collector. I still have toys. Like, they're very important to me. And I want to make sure everyone's holiday is worthwhile. So I said, let's do a partnership with Toys for Tots. And so we did like our first holiday compilation, and then we did like a concert, which was a toy drive and everything like that. And then it was such a huge success. We've just done it almost every year since then. And then we've gotten the band, the On the Upbeat crew, the podcast there, they've been involved in helping produce it and put it together. And yeah, it's just grown to this big thing. We've gotten a lot of great bands involved in it, and I'm really proud. If nothing else from this band, other than meeting my wife, the thing I'm most proud of and happy about is that we've raised about $25,000 for Toys for Tots with just our holiday music and stuff like that. And I know that's like not like a earth shattering number, but that made a lot of difference, and that made people's holiday and kids' holiday special. And I feel like the kids deserve, at least at Christmas, at the very least, to feel special and feel like I have, gifts, and I have that. So I'm really proud of that. We've done some other charity stuff for the mass hysteria. All the profits from that album went to humane societies. We do merch every Pride month. We do merch that goes to LGBTQ charities and stuff like that. So we're heavily involved in that, and I don't think we talk about it enough, because we should be proud of it. But it's just something that we do. It's just something like, hey, this is just what we do.
Honestly, I appreciate the fact that you guys do it and you don't make a big deal out of it,
Yeah.
because it really leads into the fact that you guys are doing it for the right reasons. You're not looking for the notoriety. You just
Hmm.
want to do it to do it. And
Yeah.
especially like you said, you guys raise money for humane societies. My wife is the executive director at the Gloucester Matthews Humane Society here in Virginia.
Mhm.
She's been working for them since she started working back in God, 2010, 2011.
Wow.
She was 19 and it was her first job. So, and she's went from cleaning cat cages to running the show. So, so that is just something else, man. I really appreciate the fact that you guys do stuff like that, and you don't make a big deal of it. You just want to do it.
Yeah.
It really kind of definitely shows your character and your willingness to just do it to do it.
Yeah, we're not a super successful band. I mean, I think we're good with where we are. We're happy with our place in the scene and everything like that. But if we can use our platform, no matter how big or small it is, to do some good, then it's that's what we should be doing, right?
Fantastic. I love that. Gary, can we be friends?
We already are friends, Rob.
Sorry, I'm
Yes.
Uncle Bruce.
I haven't been back to Supernova in a couple years, because it's just difficult for me to get down there, and we
Of
haven't
course.
played in a bit. But you and I will hang out at some point in time. I
One of
guarantee
these
that.
days, I'll
Yeah.
either make it to New Jersey or you'll make it to Virginia, and we'll
I'm
figure
just
shit.
saying, if you want to come up this fall, I'm having a huge 40th birthday party. I'm flying out the band, The Originals. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're a Real Big Fish cover band. I'm very good friends with them, so we're doing a backyard superheroes and originals tour in the in the tri-state area, and I'm having a huge 40th birthday party. I have a screen used Ecto 1 coming to my birthday party for pictures. I'm having some minor celebrities come. I'm going all out. So I will get you the info if you want to make the trip.
Yeah, on when it is, I think I can make that happen. I just have to confirm it with my wife because, we do have a child and I do have fatherly
Of
responsibilities.
course, I get it. Yeah,
So So we've been recording for about an hour and a half now. I feel
sure
like we
have.
really didn't do too much on Ska or Backyard Superheroes, but
That's
I feel
okay.
like it's enough for the Road to Supernova. And I think we both have other things we need to get done today. So unfortunately, we do have to wrap this up. Gary, I do want you to come back at some point, even if we decide on a topic and then we don't even talk about it. Gary, I would love to have you come back and be a part of this because honestly, this has been so much fucking fun. So
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you know what we could do? Here's what I'll tell you. Anytime there's new Star Wars content, I'm your guy.
excellent. Excellent. I'm sure we will find other things that we can collaborate on. I don't know what that is, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, awesome.
I have something in mind, and I will tell you about that off recording.
Ooh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Gary, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate your time. Next